Welcome guys to the spotlight on Genji in Overwatch. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through the Genji hero in Overwatch and explaining to you what his abilities are and how to optimize them and just getting to know the character really. We're going to start off with his passive ability, which is Cyber Agility. Now this allows you to climb on walls and also double jump. And as you can see here, this is an amazing way to move around the map. Coupled with your already pretty quick movement speed, this allows Genji to get around very easily and very well throughout the map. You're basically a parkour master. You can use a lot of this double jumping into a wall run, into a dash, that sort of thing, and just very, very easy maneuverability with Genji here. And it allows you to infiltrate, get behind people, surprise people, or get into a nice kind of sniping spot depending on what situation you're in. Next up are his basic attacks, which will start off with Shuriken, your left click in the game. Now, this attack lets you do a quick burst with your Shurikens here, and it's pretty pinpoint accurate, and you are going to want to aim for the head most of the cases, but realistically, if anywhere you land this on the body, it's going to do a lot of damage. It's pretty good damage, the only issue being that it actually takes quite a while to spam this. So it's 1 2 3 wait a second, 1 2 3 wait a second. It's not bad in any means, but it's definitely one of the slower attacks in the game, but it is a very high damaging attack. And if you get good at aiming and get good at getting this shot in at the right amount of time, you're in for a really good time with Genji here. Next up will be his right click, which is to throw the same 3 shurikens but in a forking formation. It's more of an AoE damage thing if there's a big group of them and you're just kind of throwing it in there, or perhaps there's a person that you don't really know if they're in you suspect they're there but you don't know, you just want to throw in some things to see if it gets a hit. I've done that a couple times, but often I'll not really use the 3 burst unless there's a big group of people, because otherwise the 3 in a line, your left click is going to be doing a lot more damage and it's a lot more effective than the 3 in a fanning arc. Next up guys is Swift Strike. Now this one is your dash ability. And as you can see here, it does do a decent amount of damage, but it's definitely not your main attack. It's not meant to be used to be going in and you're meant to be dashing around like, say, Tracer or something. You're definitely not meant to be doing that. You don't have the same survivability as Tracer because you can get out of combat a lot easier than you can. And it's more of just another agility aspect to Genji. It has the damage on it. I think just Blizzard was like, hey, we'll give him a little damage to his dash. But realistically, the main power of this ability is the fact that you can use it to go upwards or down or across to clear gaps, and you can couple that again with double jumps and wall climbing to get across massive distances and cover a good amount of ground. The only time you actually really want to use it for an attack is in close quarters, or for instance if you're trying to infiltrate and you're going past someone, you might just dash past them to try and get past, maybe turn around, throw a few shurikens. You know, a lot of times when I play Genji, I'll be dashing through a tank trying to get behind him to kill, for instance, a healer or something like that. So I'll dash, get the healer down, maybe ult if it's up, that sort of thing. But I mainly use it for actually getting over the obstacles, getting to places where other people won't be or they won't expect you to be. Next up is your E, which is Deflect. Now this is an amazing ability. There's no other ability in the game like this at the moment, which makes it super crucial for a lot of compositions. The reason why Genji honestly is really valuable right now in a lot of teams is because Deflect is so useful. A lot of you probably hate Bastion at this point. If you've been playing the beta, you might even hate the turrets that the engineer puts down. And Deflect is the counter to these two things. If a counter is up, you do the same amount of damage as they would be doing to you. And Bastion, obviously, when he's in his tank mode and is firing very quick and very violently, usually one tunnel vision line of sight, you can pop out as Genji and pop a Deflect, and 9 times out of 10 that turret will kill itself. Same thing for the engineer turrets. They will just keep shooting at you because they are just AI, so they will kill you themselves with that as well. Another thing to mention is you can often deflect ults with this. Now, not all ults, and it doesn't deflect beams and stuff like that, but say for instance the hunter shoots his dragon. Now if he shoots the dragon while it's still in arrow form, right before it turns to a dragon, you can actually deflect that arrow. Very hard to do, obviously. I've never done it, I've only seen it done, and it's very hard to do because obviously you have to guess when that arrow is coming. But if you can nail that, you basically turn around the arrow and the dragon will be going the opposite direction, which can be game saving if you get it at the right time. On top of that, you can pretty much do it to anyone's ult that isn't a beam or anything like that. For instance, McCree's High Noon ult, if he aims at you and is about to headshot you and you pop your Deflect, shoot that bullet back at him and it will insta-kill him just like it would have insta-killed you. That's why this ult is so powerful. Not ult, sorry. Why this ability is so powerful. Because you can just turn any damage around. Next up is Dragon Blade. This ultimate is very flashy, looks very nice, but it's very dangerous to use. You pull out a Dragon Blade and you become basically a melee beast. The issue is Genji is fairly squishy, especially in melee range here. There's a lot of melee people that can kill you fairly fast. So what you want to do is, when you have Dragon Blade up, is try and get behind people, pop it, and be relatively stealthy about it. You don't want them to know you're there. Be behind, pop it, and once it's popped, go to town with it. I see a lot of people getting a little bit excited, a little bit too overexcited when they get a Dragon Blade up, and they'll just run in and pop it when there's 5 people and they're by themselves, and it's just a waste at that point. You really still want to get that stealth counter, get in behind people, infiltrate, and then use Dragon Blade to take down whoever you can. On top of this, I would mention that you cannot cancel Dragon Blade, which means you are stuck only meleeing for a long amount of time. So that means you can't pop a deflect, you can't, shift out of there with your dash, you can't jump out of the way. I think you can still jump and move around, but basically you just want to be very careful that if you're popping Dragon Blade, you're not going to be in a situation where you need to use deflect or you're going to be getting focused, because it can be your doom if you do this. You want to definitely pick your battles with Dragon Blade. And the only other tips I can give you for Genji, guys, is you really want to pick him if you are up against a Bastion or an Engineer. On top of that, you really should be basically countering any kind of sniper. You want to get up behind people. You play him almost the same as Tracer, where you're infiltrating, getting behind people. It's just you don't have the same speed, but you have the deflect and you have the mobility and the height advantage as well, which is something you can make great use of while playing Genji. Hope this video helps you guys. I hope you guys go and play Genji and have a lot of fun with him. Have a good day, have a lovely year, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.